going on, folks? Here we are on another episode of Sneakers and Real Estate, two of my favorite things that I love to talk about. I am Femi the Agent. I'm Femi the Realtor. And today we are going to be talking about the Air Force One Terror Squad. So, Fat Joe dropped these, and he also dropped a white and blue pair, white and baby blue, which I have those as well. But this one is a great quality shoe. I've worn these a couple of times, and they're pretty intact. They haven't creased in the front. Anybody that has Air Force Ones, usually after the first or second wear, they start to crease up. This is still in pretty good condition. You have the TS on the side for the Terror Squad. You have JC on the back for Joe Cartagena, Fat Joe's initials. Really dope shoe. Summertime is here. Everybody's usually wearing white on white, so I think you switch it up a little bit. Grab yourself a pair of black, Black Terror Squad ones. So my son is going to be telling you guys what's going on with real estate, what's going on with the interest rates.
Yes. So right now for a 30-year fixed conventional is a little under 7%. For FHA, it is a little under 6.5%. So it's still a great time to buy, still a great time to sell. Based on whatever your needs are, I think you need to sit down, consult with other people, or consult with, someone like one of us who's here today, because, I think people get caught up in, sometimes the media and all the news and everything that's going on. How can I afford this? How can I afford that? There's people out there that's doing it. So, you definitely want to sit down with people, definitely go over numbers, go over your needs, and, jump in sooner than later, because as we all know, things only get more expensive. So you definitely want to sit down and consult with somebody.
So we have an esteemed guest, my guy. I've known this guy for a few years now, and he just continues to amaze me. My guy, Jose Padro from the Jose Padro team.
Thank you.
Thank you for sitting down.
My guys, thank you for having me. An honor, and honestly, it brings back it's nostalgic to see all these Jordan sneakers, because I used to have every Jordan sneaker when I was in high school.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, and that's the only way I play basketball.
Okay.
Was a Jordan sneaker.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you guys are playing. Yeah, you guys played a couple of the couple of the games. I remember seeing you with some Jordans.
Yeah, man. I almost went pro, but my wife, she held me back.
She held you back.
She told me to pick basketball or love, so I picked love.
You picked love. Yeah. Okay. But in that movie though, they had both, right? Love and basketball, right?
Nah, she didn't play me. She just told me either you quit basketball or he's not gonna have it. I'm like, all right, fine.
You had a choice.
2 kids and everything, but I'm good, man.
Nice.
That was really good. But when you get married, that's it. Everything just pulls apart.
Everything pulls.
Yeah,
that all pulls.
She just paying me up.
This is exactly what happens. So you being a big sneaker guy, what is I guess what would you say is your top 5 when it comes to sneakers?
So my top 5 sneakers right now, but it's just so chaotic because now everything is a raffle.
Yeah.
I really hate that.
Right.
So right now I have the Concords.
The 11s, nice.
Which one is the one with the hologram? The blue, white, gray.
The 13s.
The 13s. Oh, Flints. There you go. You see, I don't even know these things, and that's how old.
You're at the right place.
I'm trying to get the Jordan Ferrari ones.
So the 14s, the red ones, nice.
The breads. I like the breads. I haven't got those, but if
nice.
They come out, I'll definitely get those. And
yeah, I got the satin breads up there.
Oh, there you go. You see?
Right.
And that's it. Honestly, those are the only Jordans that I have.
Okay.
Now I collect more of like leisure wear.
Yeah. More fancy sneakers, folks. He had Pradas on today, so this is where we're at now.
Yeah, legitimately. If I can't say the name, I'm like, all right. Still having a whole different caliber.
There you go. This is what we work towards. So I wanted to jump in. We're gonna jump all over the place. How old were you when you bought your first piece of real estate?
Man, I bought my first property when me and my wife at the age of 27. I'm 43. I knew that was my goal.
Nice.
Before I turned 30.
Nice.
And I don't advise anybody doing this, but we were house poor. I just wanted a house, especially having kids, and I wanted them to have their own, I would say their own backyard, their own space and everything. But legitimately, if I can tell you, once we got into that house, man, I couldn't even afford furniture, food, or anything. And the one that held us down was my mother-in-law. That's why my mother-in-law is a saint. She would never go for anything, and she stays with me. And yeah, that lady is a blessing.
Nice. But I mean, you got to look at it, I think, from a good and a bad standpoint. So, like, I bought my first house when I was 28. I got licensed in April, found a house in May, closed in July, and I got laid off from work exactly a week later. He was only 3 months old. It kind of, I think, depending on who you are, it pushes you. And sometimes if you don't do it, like you said, you being house poor, it kind of helps you put your back against the wall for you to get it done, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Or you wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, it's one of the best investments I ever did.
Good.
At the time, Lindenhurst was the average price point was about $300,000. I bought my house for $340,000.
Nice.
Now in this current market is probably
Almost
double or triple the price. So definitely one of the best decisions I ever made. But again, now that we're dealing with people's livelihood, because they come to us to consult, like, from experience, I wouldn't advise it, because some certain people can't
do it. Yeah,
can't
of course.
do it.
Depending on who you are.
Exactly.
You got to know your audience.
Exactly. Like us, we were like, all right, it's either sink or swim. You had a kid, I had a family, and I'm like, I
had 2 kids. My kid was almost 5. Yeah. She was almost 5 at the time. So I had the both of them.
I
And
feel like us as humans, we're just gonna adapt and make it happen.
Right.
No excuses.
no excuses. We don't. Yeah. I wanted to also touch on the your family background. So where's your family from, and where did you grow up?
So my mom is Ecuadorian, my dad is Puerto Rican.
Nice.
We grew up
It's nice.
pretty much in Brooklyn, Queens, like that East New York, Ozone Park area. A lot of people don't know that. They think I'm from Long Island, but no, that's how I learned.
I used to live in East New York.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Brooklyn.
Oh, there you go. I was by Sutter Avenue and Elders Lane, like by that city line area.
I lived on Vermont, between Hegeman and Newlands. I used to work at the McDonald's, Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah.
I wasn't that far from
I used to play a lot of basketball in that, like the Pink Houses, Highland Park, like all over. Man, you see me all over the place around there. But I went to Adams, John Adams. A lot of people don't know.
Oh, nice.
And I went to Adams for 4 years, and yeah, man. And then moved to Long Island when I was like about 19, 20 years old.
Okay. Did you you moved to Long Island with the family or
with the family? My dad, when he wanted to retire.
Nice.
He's a police officer, so he wanted to retire his last few years. So he moved out. We moved out from Brooklyn, and we went to Wantagh.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, my story was a little different because I left home when I was 18.
Oh,
and I moved to where did we move to first? We moved to Elmont. Myself and my wife. We stayed in Elmont. Well, I lived in Queens for a few months, and then we got an apartment in Elmont. I was still running back and forth, running the streets, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. But I think back then, growing up in Brooklyn, you think that you know everything.
Oh yeah.
And when you hit a certain age, you want to kind of test the waters. Yeah. My dad kind of gave me an ultimatum. It was either my way or the highway. And I'm like, you know what, Dad, I love you. I'll see you when I see you. And then I left home. But when you have kids, you want a different standard of living for your kids.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see myself at that time, raising the kids in Brooklyn. I kind of wanted a suburban life for them. So which is why we went to Long Island and ended up in Long Island. We were talking about your team. Before we jump into that, I wanted to know, what did you do before you got into real estate?
So before I went into real estate, like my background was selling TVs and surround sound. So I was a supervisor in Best Buy.
Oh, okay.
Then I branched off to 6th Avenue Electronics. I was a store manager there.
Nice.
And then 14, 15 years ago, alongside with real estate, I was a store manager at Marshalls, like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, the clothing store.
I love Marshalls. I used to go there, put all my stuff on layaway.
Yeah,
like 30 years ago.
Everybody loves Marshalls, man.
When we couldn't afford two-way.
Yeah, but listen, it's one of those things that I think build me the person that I want to be. Especially with their trainings, they had great trainings, and like I quit like about 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago. I quit my full-time job.
Oh wow, okay. How long were you at Marshalls?
I've been doing. I was at Marshalls for like about 14, 15 years.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
okay.
And then, when I quit 2.5 years ago, that's when I started the team.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now you've grown your team to how many? You told me right before we started this, and
32 agents.
32 agents.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How do you
A lot of personalities.
How do you manage so many personalities?
It's not as hard as people may think, right? Everybody has different goals, different paths of what they want to achieve.
Right.
And that's more or less of how I manage. Like there's people in the team that most of them, I would say, work full time, and their goal is to sell, like, let's say 2 to 5 houses. Then there's other people that are full time. They want to sell 15 to 20 houses. So the people that are doing this full time and they actually want to make this happen, I spend more energy with them, more time with them.
Right.
And the other people, listen, culture is everything in my team, and one of my non-negotiables is integrity, respect, and being loyal. And if they have a good personality and they want to have a good time and be collaborative with the team, that's all I ask for. Everything else I'll teach them.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So at this point, how long have you been in real estate?
So real estate collectively, I would say about 17, 18 years. So a lot of people don't know when I started real estate, the first 2 years I did nothing. Like I was that agent that would just show up and I'm like, this is hard. Then I saw my family buying houses, my listed houses. Nope. So, and then
So family that is.
so listen, it's a
learning experience
and reality check, right? I feel like now from the outside looking in, it is one of the biggest investment that anybody was going to make. So why would they want to use me? Yeah, right there, we're family, but at the same time, I didn't look successful. They knew me as the crazy kid that was all over the place. And yeah, it's just from the outside looking in, I understand it, but still, it still hurts. So that's why I quit. But then, like,
2 years in, you quit?
Yep, 2 years in, I quit. I was like, I'm done with this. I had a good job, secure job. And then all of a sudden, like when my license, you have that grace period when your license is about to expire. So I think it was 2 years or 3 years that I decided, you know what, let me renew it. But if I come back, and I was speaking to my wife, and my wife goes, don't just BS, like give it a
really seriously.
And once I came back, that's when everything started happening, because I think I wanted this to be a real thing. I didn't want to be confined asking people, hey, can I take a vacation? Can I do this? Can I work 60, 70 hours? Like, that's what I was working back in the day. And now I'm just like, I don't want that.
But you look happier now. Every time I see you, you're smiling, you're dancing, you're doing all sorts of things. We were just talking. You were just at the Knicks game 2 days ago.
Bro, and listen, I thank God everything that's been happening in my life.
Yes.
I would say the past few years, a lot of people knew that I hate traveling. I just got my passport. I'm 43. I got my passport at 40. And I just started traveling.
Good.
And now I have the bug, right? I've been to like 7 different locations. And I'm just like, it's like a sense of freedom. Like we can do whatever it is. This business, if you do what you need to do. Yeah, exactly. If you do it correctly, this business can change your whole livelihood.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I got 2 questions for you.
Yes.
So you said you transitioned from part-time to full-time how long ago?
2.5 years ago.
Okay. What was, or not even just at that point, but I guess just starting off early, what was some of the biggest challenges you faced and how did you overcome it getting into the business?
So my biggest challenge, and it still continues to be my biggest challenge, is time management. right? So I feel like I think a lot of people struggle with that. Even seasoned agents that are full-time, listen, I'm
23 years in.
yeah,
I still struggle with that.
we all struggle with that. You got to be disciplined, but more so people that have full-time jobs. I struggled with that. That's why my wife was forcing me before when I quit 2.5 years ago, 2 years prior, because I was losing a lot of business. Because I was working from like 7 to 5 in the morning or 1 to 10 at
You've been
night.
service those clients.
Yeah, 60, 70 hours. And then servicing, I was losing listings and buyers. And then that's when I decided I got to do something. But the biggest challenge was that time management. If once you perfect that, and even now more so, because there's going to be a point in time where a lot of people are going to, especially now that I have a team, everybody's looking for you. So I got to manage that even more so than ever.
What was I going to ask you? How are you juggling family and business life? Because your wife does mortgages, correct?
Yes.
Okay. How do you guys juggle that?
There is no I would say formula realistically. Right. It's hard, right? Like I think we get consumed so much in our business.
There we go.
But it's one of those things you
get consumed. Sorry to cut you off. You get consumed when you care about the people that you deal with.
Yeah.
You have some people that are not consumed because they don't care, right?
Yeah. No, listen, I have 32 agents that like they confide in me to teach them the way of how to run their business. And then obviously I have a family that is looking for me to provide. Right. So my wife, she's caught up in the same field that she knows that she needs to be available for her agents as a mortgage lender. So listen, I always say, and this is my biggest takeaway with anybody that's an entrepreneur, right? Either you sacrifice now to enjoy later, or you enjoy now and sacrifice later. So which one is it that you're willing to sacrifice? So I'm willing to sacrifice now, so that this way later on in the future, I can enjoy and do whatever it is I want.
Yeah. I think what you were saying too about like the traveling and, the bug, I think for us, because of the business that we're in, because it is so stressful, I think it is really important.
Oh, yeah.
To be able to travel and like this, to be able to see the world from a different lens.
Oh, yeah.
Like my kids can tell you, he's been traveling before he even had a passport. And he's been to every, him and my daughter, they've been to pretty much every country. They've been to Disney 5 or 6 times, and I never even went to Disney when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So, I think, like you said, when you take your business really seriously, it it can open a lot of doors.
Oh, yeah.
Doors are different things.
It definitely, listen, it's one of the things that I have a conversation with my agents, right? And nothing's worse, and especially now, is like, I kid you not, one of my wife's bucket lists was to go to London during Christmas.
Oh, wow.
I worked in retail all my life since I was, 23, 24 years old.
The holidays you can never get off.
No, we couldn't take off from October till the end of January. Like, that's forsaken. Like, it's holiday mode. You can't take it. And now it's like, that was her bucket list. I'm like, all right, let's go. And that was literally December. And we went before Christmas. And like, stuff like that. And that's what I'm trying to portray to my team. I'm like, you guys are willing to work 40 hours each week, let's say, and they pay you whatever it is. You can take a client, and if you really analyze you closing a client, like one buyer, right? And let's say it takes you 20 hours from planning your day, and beginning to close, whatever, but you poured in only 20 hours worth of work, and you're getting paid, let's say, $8,000, $10,000. And sometimes I don't understand the logic of certain agents. They rather work 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week, 120, and they don't get paid nearly as much as that one client.
But you know what it is, I think, for a lot of those clients, Jose? The fact that you said that's more comfortable to them. That's safer. But for us, we don't look for the safe way.
Yeah.
For us, it's about, like you said, when you're an entrepreneur, you'll work the 80 hours for yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody always looks for the easy way out, I think, in a sense. And it's like when you get into the business, your goal in the beginning should be, I'm working this full-time job, but if I can make the same money that I'm making working this full-time job, doing this real estate part-time, then I know that there is an opportunity where I can actually take it up a notch.
Absolutely.
Right? Do you want to speak on that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was tied to the paycheck. So I understand their struggle, and I think I manage a lot with about your mental, I would say, capacity, because I feel like it starts from them, because we're surrounded by so much negativity or self-doubts, right? So I speak a lot on that as far as with the new agents, because I struggled with that really early on. Like I hated the cold calling, I hated the door knocking, but I knew if I did that, I would be successful. But listen, that self-doubt is always our Achilles heel, I would say.
Some people call it a drunk monkey.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like, but and it's so bad, but that's what I'm trying to break those barriers for the new agents and help them understand. Listen, you're working, let's say 2-3 months with one client, but it's gonna supersede what you're making within a year. Like there's one girl in my team, and I call her the OG, Yasuka, right? This girl legitimately was working 2 full-time jobs, single mom, and she literally just quit both jobs.
Amen.
And she made in 4 months what she was making both jobs within a year.
In 4 months.
In 4 months. And listen, there's more people in our team that they're doing the same thing, and it makes me proud. Like I think that's the difference between me and a lot of team leaders. It's like they just want it for more selfish reasons, because they want to make money.
Right.
But nothing makes me prouder. It's like a proud dad moment. Like they're making changes in their lives
Because of you.
Yeah.
But what would you, and you may not be able to answer this, but what would you attest that to? Me asking you as the team leader, what would you attest some of those your team's successes to?
They definitely have the will and the drive, right? Because you can't motivate people that don't want to be motivated, right? They have the desire, they show up. The most important thing for any agent is just showing up. And you'll be surprised, some of them don't do that. So yeah, I have to give them kudos, because they putting in the work, and it's not easy. Look how long everybody's just seeing the rewards, and
They see the end results.
and I've been doing this already 17 years, but it's only the last 5 years that I'm really like cashing in of me watering, as far as this business that I've been watering for a very long time.
Yeah, I think for myself the same thing. You know, people will see everything that you're doing now, and like I said, I'm 23 years in.
Yeah.
And you only see it now only because of the social media more than anything else. But you know, when you've been doing it and you just have your head down, and you didn't have the social media when you started off.
Yeah.
We just had to really get to it, and we really didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
Right?
Absolutely.
Was there a specific mentor or a moment that helped shape your approach to the way you do business now?
Yeah, there's one particular gentleman that he was my old boss in Marshalls. And he knew I was doing real estate. Like we're still close friends. He's the reason why I bought the house in Connecticut.
Oh, good.
Because he lives in Connecticut.
Oh, good.
So and me and him, we still talk to this day.
Nice.
And he legitimately, I struggled a lot managing when I was under him. Like he was the district manager, I was the store manager, and he taught me how to speak to each individual, each I would say age group, because when you managing Marshalls, like kids like yourself, they have parents just push them, go get a job.
I'll get a job, right?
So you had to motivate them some other way, right? They were there for beer money or whatever it was. And then you had
People that were older than you too.
exactly, and they've been doing it a lot longer, and they knew more than me. So I would go to them for advice, and obviously put them part of the process of me learning the business. So he's definitely has been one of the biggest people as far as coaching me, mentoring me, how to coach and teach people how different personalities, how to deal with that. So
How to manage it.
Yeah, how to manage that. So yeah, big ups to my guy Ken Leatham. And he's retired. He's retired right now.
Big ups, Cam. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
With the you buying real estate, like you said, when you were 27, actually going through the process, do you think for you as a real estate agent, that helps you to be able to deal with your clients a lot easier because you went through the process yourself?
Yes and no. I feel like at the time it was during that crisis that like they were giving out no mortgages. Everybody was losing. I think it was that mortgage bubble. So it was definitely a learning experience for me and my wife. But I think at this point, because there's a lot of people that are doing it that are not homeowners, I just feel like, and they're probably doing it better than I am. I just feel like if you learn your craft, obviously that process of purchasing a home does help, but no, just YouTube. I learned the business through YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube was my biggest, I would say, educator, because at the time I was working at a different brokerage, and it was like survival of the fittest in that other brokerage. Like, and I always like I had a meeting yesterday, and I told this agent because she's struggling in her brokerage, and I'm like, real estate can be very lonely.
It is very lonely,
And
especially at the top.
yeah, and especially when there's a lot of agents, you think you're gonna have a lot of support, but a lot of people are not gonna support you. Everybody views you as competition.
Right.
And that's why, like, I feel like I struggled very early on that. And I think I'm more giving now. And there's people that don't even work under me or they're part of my company. And I'll always give them the time and teach them whatever it is. Because what it cost me?
It takes nothing away.
Nothing. It's time. And you know what? The universe will reward me.
But you know what it is too, Jose? I think when you're in the business and people are thinking that, like you said, you have all the time in the world. I think when you are kind of on your own path, it's a little difficult for you to be able to devote as much time as that other agent or that other individual is looking for. But you can give them, like you said, tidbits, and you can give them advice on certain things. If you want to talk about that just for a little bit, because I think a lot of people don't understand, like even when you're working at whatever company that you're working at, they're thinking that it's going to be all about them, and people don't understand that it really is not like that.
No, I feel so. I have a mentality of being collaborative, right? We all started the same way. We started not knowing this business, and especially now, I feel like, and again, the process of doing real estate is all mental. And that's why I feel like if you surround yourself with like-minded people, positivity, it becomes an easier business. And you start motivating each other. Like I have groups of people in real estate groups, and we're just there trying to hype each other up because you need that.
Yes.
Not like everybody just sees the good, but they don't see the bad that we're struggling with. And I'm telling you, it's one of those things that you have to mentally prepare yourself for. Anybody getting into this business, you're an entrepreneur, and you're eating, breathing how to get business, what to do. You're a marketing person, social media person, you're a therapist, everything, right? And people don't talk about that. And that's why when people reach out to me and they're like, hey, how is it that you're doing that? Can I have it? Can we meet up for breakfast, whatever? I give them the time, because you just don't know what they're struggling with and what little thing you can say that changes. And I'm telling you, I don't understand how certain agents are not collaborative, because have you ever spoken to an agent?
You're very small-minded. That's what the problem is.
Exactly. When they do an open house, they're like, well, why are you not coming to the open house? Why are you sending it? I'm like, guy, it's called an open house for a reason, you know. But I just don't understand that mentality. And that's why those agents will
Always stay.
yeah. And that's the people you don't want near you. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, just stay you're that way and off.
And I'll stay over here.
Known for building relationships in the industry. How has networking played a role in your success, and what's your approach to creating genuine connections that actually lead to business?
It's funny. We just had this meeting with my team not too long ago, and I feel like there's an art to networking. I was doing it way before just showing up, right? And I didn't know what was
Which
outcome. At the beginning, I think it was just, hey, we're gonna party, we're gonna have a drink or whatever. But like I would say, I started listening to Ryan Serhan's book. Ryan Serhan, and he's like all about networking, following.
Yeah, I read his book.
It was great, and then it just triggered something. It's like, all right, we're meeting all these people. I'm gonna follow up. Hey, it was great meeting you. So like when I go to networking events, and I've been doing this for I think for like the last 5-6 years, is sending a message right afterwards. It was a pleasure meeting you. Let's collaborate, mastermind, whatever. Let's see if we work together. And I always send that message. And the reason being is because you never know if they're going to be the listing agent. I'm going to be the listing agent. Let's put something together. And now I've developed genuine relationships to the point now that when people see me in the room, they want to either meet me, and they've been giving me business. There's been networks that I've been going to, and this year it's been crazy. All referrals. That's why I never did the cold calling and door knocking. I only started doing that because I knew I was doing my UDU. So I'm like, I got to be a master or something, because these people are going to look up to me. So I've mastered.
What do you have to give them?
Yeah, I've mastered that. And as far as the listing presentation, I'm a killer in the listing presentation. But the networking have, my whole business is all networking, and it's just referrals. So now referrals is just pouring in. And I feel like it's huge. If you don't want to, everybody's going to be good in their own niche. And you got to find
What's your niche?
Exactly.
So your niche, you would say, would be
networking. Yeah, I love the networking aspect. That's why, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, there was 5 networking events I went to in a week. And that's why I tell my team, hey, you can keep up. Let's see if you can. And most can't. They're like, I can't go out every day.
Yeah. But you have to be, like you said, you have to be intentional when you're going out.
Yeah.
You're going out to try to meet different people, letting them know what you do, because you can go to an event and you might have just gotten a client who may be looking for, let's say, a 4-family, or looking for a commercial piece, and you're talking to somebody who might have just gotten something, and you just put a deal together right there at the event. And that's what I try to tell people as well.
You never know. Like I ran into Femi Jr. In the city, and I never I hate going to this. Like,
That was my first.
yeah, and I went and I met this investor that is looking to purchase. Listen, everything is intentional now. And that's why I'm like, now it's like, all right, I'm going here. I want to meet 1 or 2 people. If I do that, now I enjoy the night. But for the most part, it's with intentions. And that's what I tell my team. It's not about partying. This certain times that you party, right? Like Eric Braun's brewery. Like that's always a great winery.
You did.
But yeah, that's when I'm partying. Like everything, I'm having a good time. But other than that, every other network is like, it's with intentions, business relationship, and letting them know what I do.
Yeah, I went to Malik Yoba actually did an event, I think like 2 weeks ago, and I met a developer there. So like you said, you have to be very intentional when you're going to these things, and you never know who you might meet.
Exactly.
And what that can actually lead to, which is why you always have to keep your ears open, and you hear people talking about different things. It's like when you're out in the field, when it comes to real estate, everybody's always talking about real estate. So anytime, if you're ear hustling and you're really paying attention, you can kind of, try to help somebody else connect the dots. Because it's not about you, it's more about them.
Yeah. And then don't get intimidated if it's like a all real estate event, right? Because listen, not everybody is gonna vibe.
Not everybody. Absolutely.
And you'll meet that person that you hit it off with, and guess what? Because I've met people where it's all realtors.
All realtors.
And then I've met like 1 or 2 people that they've been going to those events so much, and then you just don't get to know them, and then you don't meet up with them afterwards. And it's one person that legitimately she's been the biggest, I would say, referral partner.
Nice.
And it was this event I wasn't even going for myself. Somebody invited me to this event, and it was a recruitment event because they were trying to recruit agents to their broker.
Right.
And then I met this one lady, and then this lady legitimately, she opened up so many doors for me.
I think you never know, like you said, like even the event I ran into you at, I ended up running into a guy that we ended up selling his house like a year prior, and he knew the homeowner and a bunch of other stuff. But like you said, you just never know who it's about to. So.
Yeah, just show up. That's what I keep on telling everybody.
Nice. What's your with everything that you're doing with, what would you say is your what's your outlet?
My outlet, I would say, my wife. I think my wife, she keeps me,
Smart answer.
yeah, like, no, she keeps me level headed because sometimes, listen, we get in our own minds and people won't see that other side of me. Like I usually go to my office, four closed walls, and I'm like, I'll start
On your own world, right?
my own world, right? But nah, like seeing her, and she's like, she puts everything in perspective. She's like, look at bigger picture. And we love, like, our hobbies is checking out new restaurants, drinks, and everything. So we just bar hop, restaurant hop, whatever. That's our outlet. That's, yeah, eating and drinking.
Oh, nice. Okay. We all love to eat.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
I'm Nigerian. You guys know I love to eat and drink, folks. What's your 1 year plan, and then what's your 5 year plan with your team or with real estate?
With real estate, so my goals in the first year, I would say I want to grow the team. I didn't think I was going to be at 32, but I think 50 is not out of the question, especially with the momentum that we have.
You're already more than
And-
halfway there.
Yeah, and I think 3 years. Oh, you said 5 years, right? I want to be at 100 agents.
In 3 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the goal. Like Signature's a great brokerage. They've been very supportive. They know my goal. I'm very intentional and I'm very vocal about my goals, and they're supporting me. And yeah, they're the brokerage. Yeah, I want to be a mini brokerage within the brokerage.
Within the brokerage.
Yeah, I have no intentions. Everybody's been asking me, opening up my own brokerage. I have no intentions of that. I have no desire.
I remember we talked about that when I said you and brewery,
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
the overhead. I want to sleep at night.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Nice. What was I gonna ask you? You also said with the because you got your passport a few years ago or 2 years ago?
Yeah, 40, man. 3 years ago.
3 years ago. So you're trying to also do more traveling and
Yeah,
more growth.
more traveling. My wife, like, that was always her goal, but I feel like us as humans, we always make an excuse, right? I always made an excuse. Oh, we don't have enough, or I gotta work, or the kids, this, that, the third, and
You're chasing different goals, I think, sometimes.
yeah,
too.
and life gets in the way, right?
way.
So we never got around to doing that, and most people do know. Like, my wife had a stroke when I was like around 40, so she was around 38.
I
And I
didn't even know that.
Yeah, and then I think that put things in perspective. Like, we work so much, and then we get caught up and not doing to enjoy, right? So, like, her, when we were speaking, I'm like, all right, let's put a hold as far as in our business, not entirely, but we gotta enjoy life. Like, what good is it? We're making all this money, and then like,
What is it?
yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, I think since I got my passport, went to Colombia, Madrid, London, Paris, Italy,
Nice.
Rome, and El Salvador. Right.
Hey, like international traveling now. Let's saw 3 at a time. Passport being stamped. I love it.
I love it. Yeah, and it puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
That's why enjoy your life, man. I don't get caught up and just working. I feel like we do a disservice, like,
To ourselves.
to ourselves. Yeah, man, because we get caught up, and then by the time you know it, you just, and look, she's 38. Nobody ever thought that was gonna happen to her, and you just never know, man. Without health, you have none of this.
Yeah, it happened to my wife's coworker. She was 30, 35 or 36. She had a stroke, and they had to remove part of her skull because the swelling was so bad. It's a lot, and we see it. And I think a lot of people are not really spending a lot of time on the mental health, and I think just really taking care of yourself. Like, even for myself, anybody that knows, last year I was almost 40 pounds heavier. I was almost 220. For my height and my build, that's damn near morbidly obese.
Yeah.
I'm down now to like 198, 197. And I'm still trying to get down to like a 185. But we really need to, like you said, we really have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm 51, and we just, certain things you overlook, or you're paying more attention to. I have these goals.
Yeah, oh man.
But if you don't feel good, what is the point of all this?
Exactly. You gotta enjoy it. You gotta enjoy it, especially with your kids, right? Like my daughter, she's 16. My son is 10, and I see them growing up, and they're just like,
My daughter's 27. His sister is 27.
"Yeesh."
I'm old, man. That's why I don't have no hair. So would you say that that would be, I guess, your biggest lesson so far, or your biggest regret with the I guess with the health, or with the health scare with your wife?
Yeah, honestly, that was my only regret at that time, but we definitely are making up for it.
Amen.
And not to get so morbid, but that thing could have went south real quick. And then, because we're so like, bills will always be there, right? You gotta pay our bill. Yeah. We always make excuse like, oh, we gotta pay this, we gotta pay that, and I'm like, yeah, my attitude is like, whatever. Oh, we're out. Like right now, we're planning a trip to Paris to see Bad Bunny, and I'm like, that's my mentality. I'm like, I'm gonna be traveling and doing this and whatever, because I don't care. Like, as long as, like you said, we got to take care of ourselves, and my wife has been taking care of herself, and I've been taking care of myself.
Susie.
Yeah, Susie. And then at this point, as long as we have our health, we can always make money.
Yes.
But let's just enjoy it.
Nice. What would be your advice for anybody that's looking to get into the business now, especially with the way that everything is with the market, with all the uncertainty?
Listen, I feel like there's going to be a lot of uncertainty regardless when you're getting in or whatever it is. There's never any right time to get into real estate. I just feel like you got to have the mental capacity to basically do business. It's like any business you get into, right? I tell everybody, it's like, how are you going to stand out? How everybody going to know that you do real estate? And if you can overcome that, you'll be successful.
Don't get your license to be a secret agent. Folks.
Yeah. You got to tell anybody that you do real estate, and just work there. And get off of social media. You know how many times, bro?
Social media.
Listen, and I do it with intentions, but you know how many of my agents, they're like, I'm doing everything I can, and I'm like, you're not posting, I don't see you out there. So I take their phone and I look at their screen time. And Instagram, Facebook, it's like, 30 hours, 36 hours for the week. I'm like, you're working full time, getting paid.
You're a social worker. If you're going to be on a social network.
Bro, I call them out. Like my team members, they when they give me bullshit answers, I call them out.
Brutally honest. This is what you do.
And like, they confide in me and they want me to hold them accountable, so I put them out. I'm like, this is why you're not succeeding.
I like that screen time. You see
that's screen time.
Nice. How can people reach you?
You can reach me NIG business as usual on my cell phone 516-815-6164.
Thank you again, bro.
Yeah, brother man. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
You could have sat here, talked more. When you get to 50 agents, I think we definitely need to maybe circle back, because that's gonna happen within a matter of months. And
that's it.
Me knowing you as an individual, like I said, a lot of what you're doing and a lot of your success is because of you as an individual and who you are and your integrity.
Thank you, brother.
So, bro, continue to do that. Never lose that. Never lose the smile. And we're definitely going to see you at 50 in the next couple of months.
Thank you.
If you're looking to sell, buy, or invest, 516-218-1605.
516-662-6824.
Femi the Agent on all socials.
Femi the Realtor on Instagram.
Have a great day, folks. Stay safe and be well.